Tesla has a serious demand problem, but its problem is too much demand.
In the country's largest auto market, one brand is reigning supreme, the Tesla Model Y becoming the best-selling vehicle in California. Phil LeBeau is here with the headlines and the implications. Phil?
You know, Kelly, I think this is a stat that when I mention it to people, more than anything, what I hear from folks is, really? The entire state, this is the most popular vehicle? And then they step back and they say, well, I realize that California is more of an early adoption state when it comes to EVs, so I shouldn't be surprised. And look, the Model Y hits in the heart of the most popular segment, which is that small SUV crossover utility vehicle segment, very popular across the board, not just if you want to go electric, but if you were going in internal combustion engine vehicles. So the Model Y is now the #1 selling vehicle in California.
And let's be clear about this. When he's saying the best-selling car, he's not talking about the best-selling electric vehicle. He's saying the best-selling car, past the Camry, the Corolla, Ford F-150. The Tesla Model Y is the best-selling car in California, which, like you said, is usually early adopters to the new trends. And what's in second place is the Tesla Model 3. And Elon's ruining the brand because of his tweets. I don't know.
By the way, by a wide margin, I think they sold 87,000 last year. Next closest, the Model 3 at 78,000. Then you got to go all the way down to the RAV4, which is at like 59,000. So they're way, way ahead of everybody in the state.
I have heard also that Model Y is extremely top selling in Europe. Do you know any details there?
That is exactly right. As you can see here, Tesla Model Y became the best-selling car in Europe. Again, not electric vehicle. Best-selling car in Europe. So it's the best-selling car in California for 2022. The Model 3 is number 2. And then for Europe, and for the second time in 2022, it was the best-selling car, not electric vehicle. And then when you start to look at just electric vehicles, the Model Y was the best-selling electric vehicle, and everyone knows we're moving towards electric vehicles. The competition is not coming. It's nowhere to be found. As you see, second place is the Tesla Model 3. The Volkswagen ID4 was next. None of these other cars compete. Seriously, if you had a choice, if they were the same price, would you buy any of these other cars over a Model 3 or a Model Y? I don't think so. And as the incentives get better, full self-driving improves, it's basically going to be a no option. Tesla Model Y, I think by the end of this year, will be the best-selling car in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, the Model Y is the vehicle that drives sales more than anything else for Tesla, whether it's here in the U.S., and in particular in California, or in Europe. That is the segment where people want a vehicle right now, in that crossover small SUV segment. It's not large SUVs. It's certainly not within sedans. And look at your choices, Tyler, in that segment. What other choices do you have? You can mention the Mustang Mach-E, which some people look at and they go, really, is that a crossover? Yes, it technically is a crossover. But other than that, there are not a whole lot of choices. That plays into the popularity of the Y.
Phil, what are the prospects for them achieving this status in other states, like Texas, another big market, for instance?
Very good. Very good. It's a matter of when does the competition come in.
Hate to break it to you, but the top competition is not coming.
For that segment of vehicle. Now, in Texas or in Florida or in other states, you've got a number of other factors that play in. You don't have the type of EV adoption that you do in California. In California, 1 out of every 10 vehicles sold is a Tesla. People in California, they've gravitated to EVs long before the people in Texas started to, or in Florida, those are the 2 other top 5 states when it comes to EV adoption. So will the Y ultimately be #1 selling in Texas or Florida? Long ways to go. I'm not sure that happens. That's simply because there's just not the great adoption of EVs in those states as there is out in California.
My eye check around the New York area is that if Tesla is not the top brand, and I'm talking about all models, not just the Y, if it's not the top brand, right, it's #2 or 3.
It's not just New York. If you look, the Tesla Model Y is the second best-selling vehicle in China for November. So this is it's the start of it. A lot of people think Tesla grew too fast with its stock price. This is the beginning. Tesla sold 1.3 million cars this past year. It's going to grow almost 20 times to 20 million vehicles per year within about 7 years. And we're not even talking about Optimus We're not talking about full self-driving. We're not talking about battery storage. This is really the beginning of Tesla.
You just see an awful lot of them. Where do they stand with respect to a pickup truck? Tesla.
You mean in terms of the Model Y relative to sales or Tesla overall?
Is Tesla talking about, do they have a pickup coming out?
The Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck.
Well, they've got the Cybertruck that's coming out later this year in terms of production. Goes into production later this year.
Right.
Do we see them in large numbers until late 24? That's probably when we do. And by the way, that should help them in California. Why? The Cybertruck is not a truck that you're going to sell to a guy who owns a ranch in the middle of Kansas. You are, however, going to sell it to somebody in Southern California looking for a lifestyle vehicle, looking to make a statement. And by the way, Southern California, largest pickup truck market in the country. Larger than Dallas, larger than Houston. It is the place.
Why wouldn't it work for the farmer in Kansas or Texas? Because I was thinking that a pickup truck would be the kind of vehicle segment that would work.
Have you seen the Cybertruck?
I have, but I don't remember.
Well, the Cybertruck's, it's not a traditional looking pickup truck. That's the main reason why.
That's the main reason. Okay.
And also the other thing to keep in mind, rural America, Tyler, extremely brand loyal when it comes to pickup trucks. Yeah. My daddy had a Ford, I'll drive a Ford.
Guy.
He had a Chevy, I'll drive a Chevy. Yeah, they stick with their brands, and you've got the Lightning, and you've got other electric pickups on the way in those brands.
And obviously Rivian has their series, which has been quite popular. But I
mean, I just want to question the Rivian's been quite popular. If we look here, the Rivian sold 20,000 pickup trucks or just total cars. They sold 20,000 cars in 2022. So it's extremely popular. That's not even as much as Tesla sells in a month. So it's like me, I've never owned a pickup truck. I've never even considered getting a pickup truck. I just don't need it. I don't see the point unless it is for utility purposes. But a Cybertruck is something I would want. To me, going camping in that, to me, it's the craziest, coolest looking vehicle I've ever seen, besides the Roadster. I think it's going to completely change the game when people start seeing a Tesla Cybertruck out on the roads. And I do disagree wholly that people in rural America will not want a Cybertruck and they're just super brand loyal. I just completely disagree, but I guess time will tell. But I really think it's going to be popular in Texas and these different states. Yeah, I don't see people not buying it and staying loyal to Ford, especially as they're moving towards electric and all these GMs moving towards electric. If it wasn't necessarily moving towards electric and people were against electric vehicles, maybe I could see them sticking to their gas-powered Ford or GM or whatever. But as everything's getting electrified, if you have to choose one that has better range, cheaper, better safety, full self-driving, faster acceleration, are you really going to choose an inferior product over the Cybertruck? Time will tell.
Does the Cybertruck have any towing capacity to speak of? Because the whole problem with obviously electrifying cars or trucks like that is that it takes incredible battery capacity to be able to move things in any sustained way, big loads like that would make it more functional.
It will have towing capacity. Have they released the specs yet? Not to a point where you could sit there and say, well, I can definitely compare it to Model XYZ in terms of pickup trucks. But yes, it will have the towing capacity.
I will be honest. I kind of want to drive this. I'm going to show you
a truck.
This Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck.
This is the craziest looking. If it's really out later this year, Phil, I can't wait to see them on the streets.
And that's exactly my point. I feel like there's going to be a ton of people that are kind of in her similar boat that you could normally never imagine this lady in a pickup truck. I'm sorry to judge her, but it doesn't seem like a pickup truck driver. But even, I felt the same way. I don't see myself driving a pickup truck, but I really want a Cybertruck. And a lot of the times, even with a pickup truck, it's not really feasible. It's expensive to fill up the gas tank. To me, if you need it for your work or whatever, it makes total sense. But if you don't, why would you get it? But with this,
but that, their ability to get it to market remains.
Hold your breath, Kelly. How long have we been hearing about the Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Supposed to go into production later this year. If it goes into production, you'll really start to see numbers where you can say, oh, there's a Cybertruck. mid to late 24.
Yeah.
Kind of why I got lost track of it, because it's been talked about for so long. I couldn't remember whether it's out. I've not seen one, but at any rate, obviously I haven't seen one because it hadn't been produced. Yeah. Anyhow, Phil, thanks. Appreciate it. Milestone in California.
Little jab right there at the end, but the main point of this video is Tesla just has way too much demand. It was the Model Y was the fourth best-selling vehicle in the world, and Model 3 was the seventh best-selling vehicle in the world. I believe they're just going to continue to go up as these other vehicles start to move down the list. I predict the Model Y will be the best-selling vehicle in the world. It's already the top-selling vehicle in the world in terms of revenue. Wait until this year when it's #1 in the world in just total sales. It's an extremely exciting time for Tesla. They have more products to come. Now, on Investor Day for March 1st, they might even be announcing the release of a $25,000 car, which will ultimately be the best-selling car in the world. But for now, it's the Model Y. Cybertruck to come out. The Roadster to probably be coming out maybe in 2024. The semi-truck just started getting produced. The Megapack factory ramp up. Tesla just has so many catalysts right now. It's up almost 100% for the past month. People were telling me it's going to 60. Oh, people got so optimistic that, Elon's crashing the stock and he's tweeting and it's going down. And if you've been investing in the company, it's one of the most volatile stocks in the stock market. I told people in my comments, if it does go down to 70, like you're saying, then I would just buy more. It would be just lower your cost average. I'm looking for this company out towards 2030. I don't see myself selling shares almost ever. I think eventually they will have dividends. So this is the beginning of the company. I see enormous growth, 30 times on the battery packs, close to 20 times on the electric vehicle side. We're not even talking about revenue for full self-driving and when they become a robo-taxi network. I couldn't be more excited for Tesla. I almost wish it stayed near the 100 so I could have just kept buying more shares at that price, but can't complain too much. Tesla is just an amazing road ahead of it. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Sean. I'm the Tesla Hyperbull, and I'll see you guys next time.